Welcome to the French Made Easy podcast, where I give you all the basics you need to speak French clearly and confidently. I'm your host, Mathilde, and I'm a French teacher, mompreneur, and bread and cheese lover. Join me as I dive into all things French for beginners and deliver to you bite-sized, easy-to-follow lessons every Tuesday. Let's get started. On commence. Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome back to the French Made Easy podcast. This is episode number 103, numéro 103. I am very excited about this lesson because I am going to answer a question that I frequently get. How to translate the preposition for in the context of a duration. So for example, I have been learning French for 6 months. There's often confusion on how to translate the preposition for in that context. Actually, there's a tendency to translate the preposition for as pour, which is not always correct. So that's exactly what we're going to learn in today's lesson. As usual, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. Make sure you have your lessons cheat sheet in front of you during the lesson. And then after the lesson, you can head over to the French Made Easy library to download your lessons exercises and practice what you've learned today. All the links are in the episode notes. Now, to translate the preposition for plus a length of time or duration, we can use 3 words in French. And these 3 words are not always interchangeable. So they are depuis, pendant, and last one, pour. Now, for is not the only translation for these words, right? They have lots of other translations possible, but today, for our lesson, we'll only focus on depuis, pendant, and pour in the context where they are translated as for. Which one to choose when translating for plus a length of time? As often, it depends on the context. So, number 1, use depuis to indicate the length of time of an action that started in the past and still continues in the present. And side note, only use depuis with the present tense in French. There are cases where you could use the imperfect tense, but most commonly used with the present tense. For example, elle apprend le français depuis 6 mois. She's been learning French for 6 months. Elle apprend le français depuis 6 mois. So she started learning French 6 months ago. So it began in the past, but she is still learning French, right? There's no indication that she stopped. So it continues in the present. That's why I use the word depuis. Number 2, use pendant to also indicate the length of time of an action in the past or future, but with a specific time frame, with a clear beginning and end. Ils ont habité en France pendant 2 ans. They lived in France for 2 years. Ils ont habité en France pendant 2 ans. We have a duration of 2 years, a specific time frame in the past. There is no indication that they are still living in France. Another example, ils habiteront en France pendant 2 ans. They will live in France for 2 years. Ils habiteront en France pendant 2 ans. Here again, in the future tense, duration of 2 years, specific time frame, there's no indication that it will last longer than 2 years. That's why I use pendant. Number 3, let's now move on to pour. Now, warning, this one is a lot less used in the context of for plus a length of time. And I personally don't like to use it in that context, but I know some French speakers might, so that's why I'll teach it to you anyways. So use pour to indicate the intended length of time of an action in the future, also with a clear beginning and end. Par exemple, on partira en vacances pour 10 jours. We will go on vacation for 10 days. On partira en vacances pour 10 jours. We have a duration of 10 days, specific time frame, and because it is in the future, it is an intended duration. So I know some of you might be thinking that you could use pendant here instead of pour. And yes, that's true. Something to be aware of is that in the context, again, of a duration, right? Pour can always, or let's just say pretty much always, be replaced by pendant. So in our example, ils partiront en vacances pour 10 jours, I can also say ils partiront en vacances pendant 10 jours. But, attention, pendant cannot always be replaced by pour. So be mindful of that. All right, so let's do a quick recap. To translate for plus a duration, use depuis to indicate the length of time of an action that started in the past and still continues in the present. Elle apprend le français depuis 6 mois. Use pendant to also indicate the length of time of an action in the past or future with a specific time frame, a clear beginning and end. Ils ont habité en France pendant 2 ans. Or, ils habiteront en France pendant 2 ans. Number 3, use pour, and again, less commonly used in that context, to indicate the intended length of time of an action in the future, also with a specific time frame. So, ils partiront en vacances pour 10 jours. Et voilà, now you know how to translate for and a length of time. So don't forget to practice. Head over to the French Made Easy library where you can download your lessons exercises and practice depuis versus pendant versus pour. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for listening and I'll chat with you in the next lesson. À bientôt. Bye. Hey, it's me again. Before you go, I just wanted to let you know that if you are struggling with French pronunciation, I am excited to announce my new and free beginner's audio guide. It's called 5-Step Roadmap to Effortless French Pronunciation. It's really designed to simplify your French pronunciation journey and to make it less overwhelming for you. So if you are a beginner starting or restarting to learn French and you want to improve your French pronunciation, then this audio guide is perfect for you. And obviously, you'll also get a transcript with the audio guide so you can follow along while you listen. So click the link inside your podcast notes to access your audio guide. It is free. À bientôt. Bye.